retrocastUK. And you gamers out there who just point blank refuse to give in to peer pressure and replace your precious ZX Spectrums with one of those newfangled compact disc-based systems may have felt a distinct lack of games in the last 10 years compared to their smug friends with their play boxes and their X-Station 630s or whatever the hell they're called. Why should we have to put up with this when we're still using our original ZX Spectrums and they're still in perfectly good working order? And Johnny Next Gen round the corner there is probably on his second or third version of their console in as many years. But contrary to popular belief, that doesn't mean to say that game development for the ZX Spectrum has completely dried up, and there's still an army of bedroom developers out there bringing out new games every year. And one of the better games of the last year is this one, Shooter Puzzler Future Looter, released in 2011. Yes, you heard that correctly, 2011, by Polish developer Master Beep. So Future Looter, what's it about? Well, it's a game that's light on plot, but it's heavy on old school gameplay. You control a hovering spaceship, white-faced thing that looks a bit like a floating Power Ranger head. I don't know. Anyway, he makes his way safely from one end of a very Metroid-like underground maze, collecting the Power Star that's hidden at the end at its core. There's 3 levels in total, each containing several gameplay fields, and some of which contain shooter sections, some containing more mind-bending puzzles, if you can call them that, from a Spectrum-style game, but they're very good indeed, and they must be solved before moving on to the next challenge on the next screen. And obstacles in your path include the classic missiles, ground to air and air to face, floating faces that change direction whenever they touch a block or a wall, and lots of easy to shoot multicoloured cannon fodder that attack you as you make your way through the levels. Puzzles are very fun and varied, from the simple avoid the baddies screens to time challenges that, like this one here, that involve you collecting invincibility power up and getting past a turret, for example, before the actual invincibility power up runs out. The most challenging puzzles, including the aforementioned Thwomp-like, copyright Nintendo, yeah, that's what they remind me of. I mean, come on, look at them, check them out. Yeah. Anyway, they involve these floating faces, and as you can see here, you have to use them to destroy some unshootable bricks that are blocking your exit to the next screen. What you do is, as I said before, is they change direction whenever they hit one of these shootable blocks. You have to work out which ones to shoot in order to get to the exit, thereby clearing your path and letting you go on your way. Now the graphics, I might as well go from these. I know some of you are scoffing already, but as you can see, bearing in mind it's an original ZX Spectrum kind of code that is used, they're fantastic. Look at them compared to some other Spectrum games out there from back in the day, and they've got plenty of colour. And there's hardly any colour bleed even that I've noticed. There's odd bits and bobs here and there, but not much colour bleed from one sprite to another, which is actually quite a remarkable achievement when you consider it. Title screen music is cool and catchy and very retro indeed. There's a separate video to accompany this one on youtube.com/retrocastUK that has the full title screen music on there for your listening pleasure. All in all, to conclude, excellent game by anyone's standards. I'm sorry, no matter what generation you're from, this is a great playable game. Looks great considering it's for a Spectrum. Sounds retro as hell in just the best way possible. And it still poses quite an enjoyable challenge on some of the screens. In fact, I had trouble getting past quite later on in the second screen. It took quite a few attempts. And come on. We're all retro gamers here. If you're watching this, I'm presuming you are. The fact that ZX Spectrum games are still being made in 2011, 2012 and beyond, come on. It warms your heart, guys. It's brilliant. Shows just how popular the system used to be and just how well respected it is to this day. All in all, 5 multicoloured explosions out of 5.
I like to move it, bit.